Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! What an incredible evening it is out there tonight, and under the light of the moon, there's no better time to host a show about Descendants and Zombies for each and every one of you who are huge fans of Descendants and Zombies. The cool thing about this YouTube channel is you are watching the latest episode of Jonathan Clarke Video Blogs. We have fans of the retro cast of Descendants, we have fans of the new cast of Descendants, so it presents a lot of diversity and a lot of opinions can happen on this YouTube channel, and a lot of magic has an opportunity to be created, and I'm so honored to be sitting in the driver's seat tonight, leading you through all the conversation about Descendants and Zombies that happens from time to time on this YouTube channel, which I really do love. I really do love engaging with you guys. I really do love hearing what your opinions are on Descendants and Zombies, because I can never seem to get enough of it. Because we have so many beautiful cast members who have made Descendants into a worldwide phenomenon, taking something that started as a whisper on a beautiful evening such as tonight and turning it into a worldwide phenomenon that have captivated millions of hearts. I mean, you can't tell me that you weren't inspired by the original cast of Descendants, because I think everybody, whoever was a fan of the original Descendants, were captivated by stars like Dove Cameron, Sophia Carson, and Cameron Boyce for the imprint they left on all of our hearts. I think everybody was left with a memory they forever and always cherished of being a Descendants fan. Regardless if it came in the form of the Worlds Collide Tour in summer 2025, regardless if it came as a fan of the original cast and the original trilogy, for me, what got it started for me, what kick-started it all for me was the original cast and the original story of Descendants, because it came from out of nowhere and it just happened. That was the beautiful thing about Descendants. It just happened without any explanation whatsoever. All we knew were that villains' kids were going to have the chance to attend Oradon Prep from the Isle of the Lost, and a beautiful story was derived from it. And since 2015, we have seen so many beautiful chapters and so many unbelievable things happen for the Descendants franchise, going on to captivate millions of people. And every year thereafter, 2015's illustrious premiere, Descendants has gained in popularity, it's gained in momentum, and because of that, I'm extremely excited about the foreseeable future for Descendants and Zombies. My only regret is that I wasn't here from the very beginning commentating on Descendants and Zombies. Perhaps I should have been, because I probably would have millions of subscribers by now, because it's really hard for me to believe that it's been 10 years since a legacy was created for Descendants and Zombies and left behind. Let me just say this. I really don't believe that there will be another cast that will leave behind a legacy like the original cast and the original stars, because they set things in motion. The pendulum really began to swing back and forth for the Descendants franchise and gave Kylie Cantrell, Malia Baker, and Rudy Rose Turner the opportunity to carry on the lineage and the legacy that Dove Cameron, Sophia Carson, Cameron Boyce had built and left in their past. When the dust was settled and the smoke was cleared after a 5-year hiatus, nobody saw this coming. They dreamed and hoped for a day that Descendants would be resurrected, and it happened. It didn't happen because writers and producers met in a board meeting one day. It happened because of each and every one of you. Disney didn't want to capitalize on anything. They just wanted to shut this thing down, forget about it, and leave us with the memories they had created at the hands of Kenny Ortega, Dove Cameron, Sophia Carson, Cameron Boyce. But because of each and every one of you letting your voices be heard, which is why God gave you voices, you put it in motion, and because you guys pretty much signed a virtual signature to a petition, you guys got Descendants back, and you brought it back in such a powerful way. That was the thing about you guys. You signed a virtual petition, in my mind, and it exploded in popularity, and since this resurrection, Descendants has came back in a big way, because it's receiving more PR, it's garnering more attention, and this cast is beyond incredible. It is filled with talent, it has a maximum potential that has yet to be realized, and I'm incredibly excited for the foreseeable future because of that. And to add flavor to the recipe, we have zombies creating waves all the time. People are always talking about the Zombies franchise, what's going to be happening next, because nobody can see what's coming. All we know is this mysterious vortex that just ended up on the land at the conclusion of the Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires movie. What the hell was inside this thing? We don't know yet. But that's what makes it so exciting to be a fan of zombies. All these predictions I've been reading about mermaids, about sirens, about witches. I would voluntarily jump inside of a vortex, and I live perfectly where there is a vortex that could happen for me because I live on an island. But unfortunately, I have never encountered a vortex, but that doesn't mean that I wouldn't jump inside of one. And you're probably saying to yourself, hey, Jonathan Clarke, as you've said many times, don't you realize that a vortex is associated with the end of the world, and it can kill you? I know, but nobody else voluntarily wants to jump inside of this thing to uncover what's inside of it. And it really could be anything. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's mermaids. I just think the point of the finger of prediction has been pointed at mermaids for forever. Just to let you guys in a little something, I would really go for mermaids happening in this one because I remember reading so many tales about mermaids for many, many years, ever since I was a child, because there are so many stories affiliated with this island where I'm from, revolving around mermaids. I think it would add a lot of unpredictability to the Zombies franchise, and it would get a lot of people talking and thinking, and keep them talking for forever. And that's exactly what I wanted to have happen for the Zombies franchise. The point that we're at now with the Zombies franchise is exactly where I wanted it to be 15 years from now. The amazing thing is about Descendants is it's been 10 years since this legacy was created and this all happened, and everybody is still talking about it. And I say that because I really do appreciate the conversation that happens all the time for Descendants and Zombies. Now, some of the most beautiful friendships have been spawned off of Descendants. The conversation always happens with, are you a fan of Descendants and Zombies? And if the answer is yes, I'm a fan of Descendants and Zombies. If it's, woohoo, you guys are friends for the rest of your life. And I've seen this firsthand. I used to look after girls many years ago when my mom was a school teacher. And some of the most beautiful friendships of all time have happened because of Descendants and Zombies. For me, I was just sitting at home one night watching Disney Channel alone, like I do all the time, and then Descendants just pops up on my screen. So I take it under consideration after being convinced by a lot of people that I was getting emails from, like the whole, you got mail kind of thing, telling me to watch Descendants and Zombies, along with people showing up at my door every year on Halloween dressed up as their favorite Descendants characters. I didn't know much about the franchise. I didn't know quite what to make of it until it happened one night magically for me. A couple of days after the premiere, I caught a repeat airing of Descendants. It was a special episode of that on Disney Channel. I watched it, and I've been enthralled ever since. I basically fell in love with the franchise, and it's almost like I've been put under an endless spell by Maleficent that there's no cure for, because I've been a fan of Descendants ever since. And in all honesty, I've never looked back and I've had no regrets. And I've carried this with me for forever and always. The powerful songs, the powerful script. Because Descendants really represented itself in so many ways. It never had to rely on music. It never had to rely on a script. Because it always had the music. And it never had to rely on music because it always had the script. And it had the star power. If there was one thing that Descendants proudly represented to it was the star power and what legacies they left behind, because there's been a forever imprint left on all of our hearts because of Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson. While they may have tried to desperately leave their Descendants past behind them, I think that they will never ever be forgotten because of their contributions to this franchise. I spoke on earlier today about the contributions of Sophia Carson and branched out that into the contributions of Mal and Ben, because I really do believe that the contributions of Dove Cameron, Mitchell Hope will never ever be forgotten with how revered the character Mel was brought to life by Dove Cameron, because of Dove Cameron's unique ability to really bring this character to life. Because we all saw ourselves through the eyes of the Mel character, because a lot of us who are watching this video don't care what anybody thinks of us. We're standing up for what we believe in because we just want to achieve a dream that started with a goal. And that's exactly what she wanted to have happen for her outside of her mother's aspirations, to go on to achieve something far greater. And that was followed through with by Red in the Rise of Red franchise many years later, over half a decade later. It's really hard to believe that over half a decade has passed since this original cast came into all of our lives and left a profound impact on all of our hearts. Because while I may not be able to speak for every critic out there that reviews Descendants and Zombies because they don't know how to commentate on Descendants and Zombies, I think that Descendants and Zombies has forever and always left a special imprint on my heart that I've loved to share with each and every one of you. I get really excited hours before I upload a video about Descendants and Zombies because I love talking about it. I love being involved and engaged in conversations about Descendants and Zombies. I wish this conversation could keep on going for the next 30 years. And if indeed it does keep on going for the next 30 years, I want to be your voice of Descendants and Zombies for the foreseeable future. I say this because I don't think that there is never enough conversations derived off of Descendants and Zombies. I will forever believe that, because I really do believe that there was a considerable amount of effort put behind the script, a considerable amount of energy put behind the bringing this to life, and Disney knows potential when they see it in stars. That's one thing about them. They were posting videos of Freya Sky all throughout today on different social media platforms. There was this adorable guitar video of Freya Sky singing one of her songs off her latest compilation. I hit the like button for it, but I came to realize that Freya Sky on Facebook only has 12,000 followers. And it got me thinking, with how popular this girl is on YouTube, with 500,000 subscribers, 500,000 subscribers having been put up for Freya Sky, how come she doesn't have 1 million followers on Facebook? I think that we can do something about that. We can head over to Freya Sky's Facebook page right now and hit the like and the follow buttons. because I really do believe she's going to be the next Taylor Swift. I can see it in her voice, I can see it in her presentation, and I can really feel that about her. And I've said this about a lot of celebrities over the years. I said that Ariana Grande was going to be the biggest star in the world, and she was. I said Victoria Justice was going to be something special, and she was. I said this about Taylor Swift many, many years ago, and she went on to become the biggest celebrity in the world, worth over $1.6 billion in revenue. I think she's up to $1.7 billion now. So I'm saying the same thing about Freya Skye. Give her time, give her 5 years, I would say, and she's going to explode. And I'm just going to be excited to be here. I hope I'm right here when everything happens for Freya Skye and comes into fruition, because usually my predictions are followed through with. So if there's one guy you should trust in the theories of, it's Jonathan Clarke. And I know a lot of people have theories and predictions they make about the Descendants franchise, saying they have to stop making Descendants and Zombies movies. We've seen and we've heard everything about Descendants and Zombies. What else can happen? Everything and anything can happen at this point. And I would go for anything happening in the Descendants franchise. Based off the chemistry we've seen on and off the set, based off of the friendships, I would go for anything, and I would say anything is going to happen. One should never believe that we're going to see a dramatic conclusion for these franchises, because we're going to see anything but a dramatic conclusion. Because I am here for the foreseeable future, and I am here to ensure the legacies of your favorite Descendants and Zombie stars are going to last for forever. That's exactly what Meg Donnelly and Milo Manheim want for the franchise. It's meant so much to them forever and always as executive producers, and that is exactly what they are going to get. They want the memories of Cameron Boyce to live on forever and eternally. That's exactly what they're going to get, because I'm not going to have it any other way. I will never shut up talking about Descendants and Zombies, because you guys have deserved the Descendants and Zombies podcast for forever. You've been crying out, you've been demanding it, and you've got it here. You found it in Jonathan Clarke. Even if that means I have to upload Descendants and Zombies videos every day for the foreseeable future or for the rest of my life. Because I'm not going anywhere. I have nothing to do, only play video games every night. That's why I have this game chair and a huge PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 video game collection. I have nothing else better to do with my time, nowhere to be. So I think the best way to spend my time, or the remainder of my life with each and every one of you out, is by recording Descendants and Zombies videos and uploading them to this YouTube channel, which I take great pride in doing. Because I've always believed there is a certain pride and a passion that goes with commentating on Descendants and Zombies. And if you show up on your YouTube channel with that pride and that passion exemplified for the franchises, then the possibilities really are endless. Because I think never enough conversations can happen about Descendants and Zombies. I never think enough possibilities can come into fruition for Descendants and Zombies. I mean, they've obviously got the financial backing. Disney is worth over $158 billion in revenue. So you think about the company being worth over $158 billion in revenue. They can allocate a bigger budget than $10 million for one chapter of the franchise. I think the highest budget ever allocated and dropped for a Descendants movie was $10 million by Descendants 3. And that was because it was supposed to be the dramatic conclusion. Nobody ever thought anything else was going to be done with Descendants ever. So they thought, drop a budget of $10 million, close the book on it for forever and always leave it dead and buried. But because you guys signed a virtual petition online ever since the Descendants 3 movie happened, and you brought it back, I think Disney now finally recognizes the potential. But they certainly don't recognize the potential because of them and how they believed and how they felt. They recognize the potential finally because of each and every one of you. You guys made something special happen here. You made something special happen all throughout the summer of 2025. Those 43 arena dates were sold out, not because of the merch, not because of the advertising. Disney has a phenomenal marketing strategy. It happened because of each and every one of you. And it precisely happened because of each and every one of you, which is why I'm here to say thank you. Because you brought back a franchise that meant so much forever and always to my heart, meant so much to each and every one of you, and together we created something special. We made something happen. We're going to make something happen for the foreseeable future for Freya Skye. We're going to take away, we're going to shut out the criticism, and we're going to ensure that she goes down in history for being the next Taylor Swift. If not the next Taylor Swift, I'll go for the next Ariana Grande. I'll accept that. But I'm not going to accept nothing less from Freya Skye, when she's always got a smile on her face. In her videos she's uploading to social media platforms such as Facebook and X. People can't seem to get enough of her. Over 256 likes happened for this one video I saw today. I don't know the name of the song, but it's amazing. The numbers Freya Skye are putting up for Disney are to be noted and to be remembered and to never be forgotten about, because I think never enough praise can be shown to Freya Skye. Freya, thank you so much for touching all of our hearts. Thank you so much for being a part of all of our lives. I know I will never forget you guys. I know I will never forget Freya Sky for the impact she's left on my heart. While I can't speak for every other critic out there, I think that never enough praise can be shown to your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars, and that's precisely what we are going to do for each and every single one of them, regardless of who we're talking about or how we may feel about them. Because that's what I appreciate about Descendants of Zombies fans is they know what they want. They know what they love. They know what they're getting themselves into. This has been a really crazy journey that we've been on ever since the beginning of Descendants. Ever since its inception back on July 31st, 2015, the same night Bunk premiered, nobody ever expected Bunk to blow up the way that it did, with stars like Cameron Boyce and Peyton List. I believe Bunk premiered the same night that Cameron Boyce's movie Descendants premiered, so he had a TV series and a movie premiere on the same night. Man, it was great to be Cameron Boyce that night, wasn't it? July 31st, 2015, a moment in history. It was history that we were all a part of. And I really do believe that it was history that we were all a part of. The same thing, I think they tried to pull a Hannah Montana High School Musical kind of thing, because when the original High School Musical premiered back in 2006, on March 24th, 06, they premiered the pilot episode of Hannah Montana an hour after the High School Musical premiere. So that was a huge night for Disney. It garnered huge reviews, huge ratings that came in for Disney, and I think they tried to pull a Hannah Montana High School Musical kind of night, and they did it, and they did it successfully. That was the thing about it, because it could have been a flop. The thing about everything with Disney is it could be a flop, and it could be a dramatic flop. But Descendants was an explosion in popularity, and there were never enough reviews seemingly written about the Descendants franchise. I know. I was there hours after the premiere. I jumped on my computer. I read the reviews because I still had a desktop computer at that time, and yeah, I know I'm a loser. And I was browsing down through the reviews that people were leaving on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb.com, and I couldn't get enough of it. Because the people that were uploading videos and reviews, you could say, because YouTube was really popular by 2015. I mean, I was on YouTube for forever. So people were uploading videos, people were uploading written columns to websites like Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb.com, and I just couldn't get enough of it. I really couldn't, because this was one of these franchises that you could really take a chance on, that you could see existing for forever, that actually gave you a chance of hope existing out there in this world. And that's something I give the writers and producers of this one a profound amount of respect for, and I think that more great reviews should be written about a franchise like The Rise of Red many years later. Because while people will choose to criticize a franchise for forever, wishing it would go away and just disappear and mysteriously vanish off into thin air, I think that this franchise could see up to, 7 movies, probably even 10 movies I'd go for, because you have so many fairy tale characters that are often forgotten about. You have so many fairy tale characters that have yet to see their introduction into a franchise that has been absolutely remarkable and phenomenal for so many wonderful people from all walks of life. Such a cultural diversity presents itself with Descendants. So because you have such an opportunity, you can have up to at least 7 movies. You don't have to end it at a trilogy, because the originals had a trilogy, and I believe they had told the story and completed it. I think that everybody's opinion is different about Descendants, which is what makes this so special. Because if everybody's opinion was the same about Descendants, saying this or that, I mean, the world would be a pretty boring place. The same logic applies if I stop talking. What does that tell you about me for those brief 3 seconds? Nothing. So by me telling you something, it introduces you to who the host of the show is. It lets you know how he feels about Descendants of Zombies. And I think that what really got Descendants over was we got to know these stars. We got to appreciate them more than we had appreciated any star from whatever generation we're talking about when it comes to Disney. Because let me ask you something. Other than the stars themselves of the Descendants of Zombies franchise, whoever talks about High School Musical or Hannah Montana now? Miley Cyrus herself is the only one that ever talks about Hannah Montana. We don't, because we've forgotten about it. It's been 10 years since Descendants happened, and we're still talking about it because it's forever and always left an imprint on our hearts. And dare I say, one that we will never ever forget, which makes this ever so much more special than I think it was ever intended to be. I don't think anybody who was ever a part of this production intended it for it to blow up the way that it did. I think it was really a hit or miss for Disney. It was really a gamble that Disney was taking in July of 2015. They wanted to create something special, And man, did they ever, because they turned something that started as a whisper into a global phenomenon. That's the best way, the best analogy that I can offer to you, or really offer it up to you as an evolutionary process, because we saw the characters of Descendants really go through a metamorphosis, an evolution, if you would, because they went from people that really nobody knew anything about into global phenomenons. It was because of Descendants that Dove Cameron was appearing on the red carpet for fashion shows months later. So because that was happening for Dove Cameron and she became a celebrity overnight because of Descendants, I don't think that people like Dove Cameron should be trying to leave her Disney past behind her. They should be remembering it. But for some reason, Sophia Carson is the only one that commemorates the 10th anniversary of Descendants from the original cast. I know Dove Cameron obviously will forever and always hold a special place in her heart for Descendants, but for some reason she just doesn't talk about it, because there's obviously stuff that happened behind closed doors that we don't know about because we weren't there. All we can offer is our predictions or our thoughts on what may have happened because of how Dove Cameron feels the way she does. Obviously something must have happened behind closed doors, but one can only speculate on that. But I think that the best way, if you're going to show up on YouTube and record a video about Descendants of Zombies every single night for the rest of your life, at least show up on YouTube every single night for the rest of your life and talk about it with promise. Talk about it with hope. And make people believe and encourage people that there will be a new chapter of Descendants regardless of what happens in it. Regardless of how far out there the story may be and the predictions may sound. I really do believe that there's a chance for hope actually happening for somebody out there because of Descendants of Zombies. It has forever and always convinced me that hope has a chance of existing, and I've been never more proud to be here to be your voice of Descendants of Zombies. I was always a big fan of stars like Peyton List. I was always a big fan of Debbie Ryan. I was always a big fan of Ashley Tisdale. But I have never been more of a fan and more supportive of people like Ruby Rose Turner and Kylie Cantrell, who have continuously exemplified an outstanding effort to bring this franchise to life. And because of that, I will forever and always be in the corner of Kylie Cantrell. I will forever and always come out swinging for Kylie Cantrell, because I think never enough support can be shown to stars who are crying themselves to sleep every night because they feel as if they're not living up to a certain person's criteria. There is absolutely nothing wrong with what Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker have done with this franchise. They have brought it to life. They have offered us encouragement. They have made us feel very proud to be a part of whatever we've been a part of that relates to Descendants of Zombies. And I think more people are more passionate than they ever felt before about Descendants of Zombies. That can be credited to the Worlds Collide Tour, the sold-out arena dates, the 43 arena dates that happened this summer will never ever be forgotten. And because of that, I'm here to tell you that Leg 2 of the Worlds Collide Tour overseas will be happening in the UK, Germany, and Australia, which I'm really excited to be here to cover for you guys, because I feel as if this exposure will give people like Freya Sky an opportunity to be seen and to be discovered by major labels. Will give them more of an opportunity to be actresses, because Zombie Swore Dawn of the Vampires is only just the beginning of Freya Sky's career. And judging from what I've been seeing on social media from her music, oh, she's going to explode. And your guys' assumptions about Freya Sky being the next Disney pop star will forever hold to be true. I'm here to ensure that. I'm here to make sure that happens for Freya Sky, because I feel as if never enough nice things are said about people like Freya, and of course Kylie Cantrell too, likewise, because I have the biggest crush in the world on Kylie. I have the biggest crush in the world on Ruby Rose Turner, and I'm developing a crush on Freya Sky because of the music. I think the biggest reason why we all feel special because of Freya Sky's music is because it reminds us of ourselves. That's what the music reminds us of, is ourselves. And I think that because the music reminds us of ourselves more than perhaps any other artist out there, perhaps more than a Taylor Swift ever did or ever could, that's what makes this so special. This is what makes this moment just so revered. And I just have felt so honored to be here to cover Descendants of Zombies for each and every one of you into the foreseeable future. And if you guys will allow me to be your voice of Descendants of Zombies for just a little while longer, I promise I will make it worth your while, and I won't let you down, nor will I ever go away. Because I feel as if never enough conversations happen about Descendants of Zombies. I've always wanted to be here wearing a diamond-patterned sweater talking about Descendants, and my passion for Disney, which of course you see in the description of these videos, because I really do love talking about Descendants of Zombies. I feel as if never enough nice things are said about Descendants of Zombies, and if in fact you are going to talk about a franchise that has forever and always meant so much to our hearts, that it becomes so revered because of thousands of fans, millions worldwide, I think that you should be posting videos that actually make sense and will convince people to subscribe to your YouTube channel. Having said that, guys, I will be back tomorrow morning as early as 8:35 a.m., between 8:35 and 9:05 a.m., and I hope you will join me for it, because I really do feel as if never enough conversations can happen about Descendants of Zombies, and we still have so much of a story yet to be witnessed, and I am incredibly excited, and I've never felt more intrigued to be a part of the foreseeable future, sitting right here, commentating on Descendants of Zombies for each and every one of you. It's been an honor, guys. It's been the greatest honor of my life, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Keep Descendants of Zombies in your hearts, as I will keep it in mine, because Descendants of Zombies deserves to be respected. It deserves to be honored, and I feel more honored than I ever have before. This is my greatest accolade, my greatest achievement ever of all time, and if one thing makes me go down in history for being one of the greatest of all time, it will definitely be my commentaries and my thoughts and predictions I've shared with all of you over the last year on Descendants of Zombies. You have been watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube, the #1 Descendants of Zombies show on YouTube. If you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, then perhaps you're going to want to think about subscribing to Jonathan Clarke video blogs, because there is always a Descendants of Zombies conversation happening on a YouTube channel that promises you videos and delivers on those videos every single time. Guys, thank you so much. It's been the greatest honor of my life. Keep Descendants of Zombies in your heart. We will talk again tomorrow morning between 8:35 and 9:05 a.m. as always. I'm your host, Jonathan Clarke, saying take care of yourself, guys. Be safe out there tonight. Bye, YouTube. We will talk again in literally just a few hours from now.